join the savage tribe. New takes weekly, unfiltered and raw. Isaac's voice, the memer's law.
The golden age of America begins right now.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, everybody. Welcome back. We're on episode 16 already, episode 16. And before we get into it, let's just check in with the chat real quick. We have Just JK. How you doing, man? We have Jake. Good to see you as always. Yeah, we got everybody. Erwin, Sentient Potato. And we have Fenris. And, of course, we have Cornboy as well. And so we're going to let more people trickle in. And we're going to be getting ComixDad here in just a moment. I know he has to wrap up his stream. But definitely we'll be hearing what he has to say. But first, before that, let's check in with our panel. Cornboy, how you doing today? What's up?
Oh, man, it's been a good week. Looking forward to the holiday this weekend and hopefully have a good time, cookouts and all that. Celebrate Independence Day.
Heck yeah, 4th of July, man. Celebrating our nation's independence. I'm looking forward to it. Magnum, how are you and what have you been up to?
Working my ass off. Worked 36 hours the last 3 days. Happy to be here and not doing that. And fuck, it's hot as hell in North Carolina.
Oh, I can imagine.
Just trying to stay cool, man. I'm glad my air conditioning hasn't, caused a power outage because that happens occasionally. So
running overtime right now on the old AC during this heat wave. I can imagine.
I mean, everybody's got it on, and that's why we get the power outages because everybody's pumping it. So it's about 98, So
luckily, I'm not on the city's grid. I'm on a county co-op, so we don't have so many problems here.
And we get the humidity, so if it does get hot, and it'll be humid too. So it's kind of like Florida, but not as hot, I guess. But I don't know.
That's rough. Yeah, not a fan of the heat myself. I like some cold weather. And speaking of things to cool you down, this is a really good segue into what first couple memes. We got to start out with a few lighthearted things. So Starbucks caught some flack this week. They had a barista write, whatever, harmless, funny joke on a cup. I guess that's what they do. I wouldn't know because I don't go to Starbucks. But regardless, a Texas Starbucks customer fumes over illegal joke that barista wrote on her cup. It's offensive. What is the offensive joke? The barista at Starbucks simply wrote on the cup. Let's zoom in. What do you call a sick eagle? Illegal. Yeah, it's an ill eagle.
Oh,
we've heard that before.
Oh.
But as you can see here, the individual that was upset about it, she's of a certain persuasion, and maybe the word illegal it hits a little too close to home for her. Maybe she doesn't have her papers, So
maybe she needs to be deported.
That's very true. That's an excellent point you bring up. So ICE, Tom Homan, if you're listening, just saying. I
mean, why else would you be offended by that?
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I don't think a barista at Starbucks would be calling somebody an illegal. It's not their
sounds like the lady doth protest too much. So just saying. Over an illegal joke. Come on, that's like OG dad jokes right there. So silly.
It's like Katerina or something like that. A little too close to Karen.
Yeah, I agree, Jake. That absolutely is. And yes, she did tell on herself. Now, before I pull up this tab, jump scare warning. Okay, jump scare warning, because we have some mentally ill individuals that we're going to be making fun of, but I'm just going to let it play for itself. Present screen. Yeah. So this is another clip. Tony the Sign Guy. I don't know if you've seen his stuff, but we're going to play this clip. So here is this very individual.
That's the one that likes to take selfies in the girls' bathrooms.
Yes, which is illegal, by the way. But let's play the clip.
Trans women aren't women, then is this big croissant not a croissant?
The croissant wouldn't pretend to not have a dick. Anyways, look at this sign right here. A better sign for greater business. This sign comes with a push-through design with exquisite vinyl placed on the
Primo
surface and with
advertising.
entire place backboard. Any shape and size can be customized by sending us your logo. We have C and UL certified with 3 years warranty, no MOQ, and installation guidelines in the package. Contact us in our bio for professional franchise signs. Come to LC Sign.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. I don't even need a sign, but I want to buy a sign.
I mean, he's been doing this for a while, so it must be hitting the right nerve to drum up some business for him, and I applaud him for it.
My Pillow should hire him.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, Jake knows right off the bat. Tony, bro, if I ever need a sign, I know who I'm buying from. Yeah, deportation is the ethical solution. Yeah, Alex is right. This freak.
It's the light touch.
Yeah, man. I don't even need a sign, but I want a sign. Maybe we'll get a Golden Age podcast, neon situation going back behind here just because Tony's a funny dude.
We need to bring back the old car salesman ads like that,
Yes, absolutely.
I love refrigerators.
The local entrepreneur ads, like, hey, come look at my stuff or whatever.
It's some of the best entertainment out there. I mean, this Tony guy, I think he's on, I don't do TikTok personally, but I think he's mostly on TikTok, probably Instagram and stuff. But still, I catch the clips when I can see him on X. It's funny stuff though. Hey, Ronan, what's up? Good to see you guys all in chat. Hate to chill, whatever you want to call it. Just please like the stream. We appreciate it. We're growing more every week. It's good to see. So thank you guys for stopping by. And just a couple more funny things. I'm sure you guys all saw this this week. This was our vice president, who I am a big fan of. He's growing on me quite well. He was attending the Ohio Republican Party dinner this week. And he was talking about how many of their, opponents refer to us as number one quite often. And what does he mean by number one? Let's see what the vice president had to say. Make sure the volume's good. Here we go.
Trust me. In Washington, D.C., they have this thing where I think it means we're number one in Washington,
We're number
D.C.
one, right?
All the pink-haired people throw up this sign, and I think that means we're number one, right? I choose to take that as that symbol in Washington. But all kidding,
let's
throw up.
Look at that. That's what era are we living in? What do you guys think?
Yeah, President Trump drops the F-bomb last week.
We're getting fast and loose on the presidential and vice presidential rules these days. And
there's a time and a place for swearing, and that was a perfect time. So,
yeah.
Yes. So legendary move from the vice president himself. He, he's just stating, man, we're number one. So, and I couldn't agree more. But that is the often and usual response from the left when discussing anything political. They don't know how to have a discussion. They just flip you off and say, you're an istanophobe. So
an istophobe.
An istophobe. Yes, I'm a phobe of the ists. So a couple more little funny things, and we're going to get into the heavy hitting issues of the week. This was pretty cool. This was in Kentucky, I believe. A General Lee with the correct flag on the roof, mind you. So big props for that. Did a jump over. This is a legit. This is confirmed. This is not AI. This is not any. This is a real stunt that happened this week in Kentucky. Let's take a look. Check this out. Pretty awesome. Literally jumped the water fountain.
Oh, damn! He almost hurt himself.
So almost wiped out on that. And the cameraman on the offside almost.
Did they not even have a landing ramp? That was stupid.
Is there people standing there too?
Yes. It
we got lucky.
That was close. And from the other angle, which I don't have the clip because I'm not sure if YouTube would like it. It's pretty dangerous looking, but the cameraman on the other end almost got wiped out. He came within an inch of losing a limb. So. Good thing everybody's safe. The guy made it out good, but the car looked pretty wrecked. The wheel well was torn out, and so pretty crazy stuff. Let's look at that one more time. I'm just blown away by this. That's some Americana right there for 4th of July. Look at that. And right flag too. You look before. Heck yeah.
Ooh.
So pretty awesome, but yeah, he kind of wiped out there at the end. He kind of pulled off to the left, and
there's no landing. It's just flat ground.
Yeah. It was
was like,
not
oh.
well planned.
I was like,
No.
oh shit.
That suspension was blown out of that vehicle. That was just like a real life Dukes of Hazzard, you know.
Yeah, it's a real metal car too. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he did not quite stick the landing. So, I'm not sure if you guys have seen. We're gonna see if the chat knows too. This has been going around. The man with the highest IQ. I'm not gonna say his name probably perfectly, but Young Hoon Kim, I believe is his name. He's been saying some pretty base stuff here on X, and he is the man verified world's highest IQ record holder, and highest IQ 276 confirmed by official world record. World Memory Championships. So he has been posting. I just wanted to show this one, and I think this is going to resonate with a lot of us here, especially in the chat. Statement from himself. This is his personal account. From the world's highest IQ record holder, feminism comes from low IQ. Mm-hmm. God is not our mother, he is father by his own revelation. Amen to that. And I especially love the part, feminism comes from low IQ. Man, that got the attention of the crazies out there on X this week. What do you guys think of this? Both of you guys. I mean, world record IQ.
Oh, I was watching Asmongold while I was working earlier today, and every problem that he was talking about can be really traced back to feminism, giving women power, empowering women, because for the past however long humanity has been on this earth, we've had roles in this, and they were distinguishable. But all this blending of power and blending of roles has not been good for our society, and it's led to what we're seeing everywhere today.
Absolutely.
And the whole toxic masculinity thing. So it's like they're trying to tear men down, and it's just not good for society in general. We could write a book on this.
I mean, if you, whether or not you believe in evolution or instinct and evolution has gone on with humanity for a very long time, and to upend it in 50 years has really caused chaos.
And really, boys and girls learn differently too. So and they try to they're trying to feminize all the boys, and young boys have to get outside and do stuff and I don't know. It's just they learn differently. But
they've conducted these tests on infant humans and infant animals of all sorts, just between male and female, and you give a little boy. What did they do? They did a test. They had a room. They had some little boys. They showed that the boys would gravitate towards the guns and the toy guns, the toy swords, the toys, the sticks. They would just start eating each other with them. And then the girls just naturally, you don't have to tell them what to want. The girl wants to play with the baby doll. The boy wants to play with the toy gun and the swords and attack each other. It's just like in your DNA. You don't have to teach them this.
Yeah, there's a huge element of nature, not nurture, when it comes to this stuff. So
absolutely.
And another aspect of that is that the beta males have aligned themselves with the feminists to take power over the alpha males that should be running society.
But nurture can lead to Pedro Pascals.
That's true.
That's very true, and I think that makes an excellent point. The nature
women
versus
in
nurture
power will eventually turn on the beta male simps. So
there was a whole couple of different things that Lotus Series did recently, talking about how there was an article in the New York Times about this woman is saying, "Where'd all the men go?" It's like,
I saw that. Yeah.
You're just annoying, and I don't want to be around you.
Yes. Well, exactly right. The real men, fine. You don't.
Feminists are not fun to be around. Period.
Exactly. So the feminists are like, hey, I want it my way, but you still have to act the way I expect you to act. It's a two-way street. Both parties have to act accordingly for things to work, and we're learning this. And I think this is a great post from Mr. Kim, and that's what I'm going to call him.
And just the last thing I got to say is that, it's turned so many young women into radical Marxists, basically, because it's all the same ideology. It's compiled into one.
Unfortunately.
So it's like you got like 68% of white women voting Democrat, and it's just.
And then
it's
the
sad.
opposite, you have like probably 68-70% of Gen Z men, my age group, are voting conservative, voting right wing,
and they're not happy
nation
because
first.
they're not happy. They're taking antidepressants and all kinds of shit. Anxiety and
huge.
And it's not good for men either, of course. But I kind of, and people will say, well, you're just a bigot, but I'm kind of blaming.
They're denying our natural state of being as humans.
It's feminism, and the feminism's coming from the women. So,
yeah, Jake said it perfectly, referring to what you said, Magnum. You don't need us, don't want us. Okay, got it, lady. Don't want you either.
Yeah, we'd gladly fuck off. Like, we don't need people like like you do.
Like, sorry, feminists need not apply to. Nobody wants feminists. I mean, come on. So,
yeah.
One last on the lighthearted side, we have this has nothing to do with politics at all. I just had to show this because it's weird, and we're going to be talking a little bit about AI here. I think AI is a big revelation in our society. It's going to play a role in politics and culture, in everything, and I think it's important to talk about. And just a quick hail, Barbie. Thank you for stopping by, and we got the chat. You guys are popping off tonight. Appreciate it. This is crazy. Look at this AI video that's been going around. You can this is 100% AI. Imagine the elderly people on Facebook that are going to be fooled by such videos. They're going to see a My Fellow Americans presidential speech and think it's real. It's unfortunate. So,
wow,
that's a sharp knife.
I know, it's cutting right through glass. But yeah, I just had to show, because it's like, we know this is AI, but to the uninitiated, this is going to trick some people, man.
And, I mean, never forget about War of the Worlds. It'll trick a certain percentage of the population.
Absolutely. So, very important revelation, I think. And so, first thing I want to talk about, you mentioned this earlier, Corn Boy, Asmongold. Asmongold is a streamer. Is he the biggest streamer right now? Essentially.
In America, he is, yeah.
In America, yes. Yeah. What do you think, Rizkit? AI tards? I don't know. We'll come up with it. But Asmon is becoming. If you guys don't know who he is, I don't really watch his streams because I don't watch super long format streams. But his clips are popping off everywhere.
Yeah.
He is becoming progressively more based. I have no idea where he really stands politically. I'm not even going to try to put a label on the guy.
But, I mean, he grew up in Austin and never left, so he's more than likely fairly liberal.
No, he was very liberal. He was very liberal a few years ago, and he's been more and more and more kind of waking up to certain things. So
that's kind of an incel, though. He never goes out. He just does streams, and that's about it all day, every day.
Yeah, they joke about he doesn't clean. He's a multimillionaire, and he doesn't clean his room.
He can't even afford a cleaning person to come into his house.
I don't think it's a matter of afford. He just doesn't care.
He can afford it. He just doesn't want someone to come into his house.
But on that note, Asmon is talking about immigration here, and bro, his chat is super based. They are helping him to see the light, and let's see what Asmon had to say on the matter of immigration. I want to make sure volume is correct here. So this is in regards to Asmon's response on immigration.
Probably one of the biggest modern problems that we have is that the basically, like, people's performative empathy ends up creating problems for other people instead of the people that they're being empathetic towards. So they're basically trying to make themselves feel good by helping one group of people, but
tolerance will be our downfall in the West. Just have
the process of that, they're hurting another group of people instead. So I view it as like concentric circles. And so obviously it's good to have empathy for everyone, but you should prioritize people in your country first. And so whenever
I'm going to pause it right there. So he makes an excellent point. And before we move on with that, I want to give a big warm welcome to ComixDad. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey, welcome.
Good to see you, man. I think you might be muted. You're muted. Yep. But I know you just had a good stream, and we have ComixDad's link in the description as well.
There we go.
You guys want to check them?
Hey,
Got you. You sound good. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I just finished up doing my show, The Poll List. Now I'm over here. Happy to hang out with you guys and the chat.
Awesome. It's good to see you. Yeah, we'll fill you in on where we're at, but we were just talking about, I'm sure we're going to be talking, I've got a couple pop culture related things that I think you will know more about than the rest of us, and I definitely get your opinion towards the end of the stream on that.
No, of course.
But you're familiar with Asmongold, right? You've seen him.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him. I'm familiar. I'm not a huge fan, but I also have not really. Yeah, I'm aware of who he is. I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't have any things negative to say about him.
Perfectly fair. So we're just hearing out what he has to say on this matter of immigration. I think he makes a couple interesting points here, but let's hear what.
You make a decision based off of those concentric circles that we all know to be true. Like, you'd be more likely to make a decision in the best interest of your parent more than maybe a friend.
True.
You would hope, right? And more in the interest of a friend than an acquaintance, and more in the interest of an acquaintance than a stranger. And so all of this exists in kind of a logic. There's like a logical structure of this that everybody acknowledges to be true on a personal level. But the moment that you extrapolate this to a group level, somehow we're supposed to pretend like it doesn't exist. I don't think that's a good way of looking at things. And I know that, like, for me, a lot of people that talk about this, like, they try to worry about the optics. I don't mince my words about it at all. I think that if you come here and have a kid, I think the entire family should get deported, period. That's it. No exceptions. No, but what about? No, but it's bad over.
Yeah, so this goes back to our deep-rooted discussion in this country, immigration. Essentially, we have the term anchor baby. Should a couple, we're just going to say couple for the sake of saying couple, people who come here and, woman's 8 months pregnant, just because she has a baby on this soil, forget about if the baby's a citizen or not. I mean, I don't personally believe that gives these a group of people having a baby.
Yeah, we don't have magic soil.
No. So they're still here illegally. And in my opinion, of course you can have empathy. And I think we need to take families into great consideration. And as Tom Holman said, deport them together as a family, So I'll ask, down the panel, Cornboy, what do you think of Asmon's general take here of
Oh yeah, this take is correct. If when you try to help one group at the expense of another group, it's going to alienate the group that has a problem with it, and it's the majority of Americans that have a problem with it who are the other group is being helped because of it. Mm-hmm. And you should have seen the take he had today. He was praising Bukele and his system of just jailing all the criminals down there. He's like, if I ever become president, I'm jailing all the criminals here too. I think that's a major problem here too. I was like,
I think that's generally good take too. I mean, hard on crime. People are sick of the rampant, crime, get arrested, get let out next day type of stuff going on. So what do you rest of you Magnum ComixDad either,
So the DACA thing is just a loophole.
Yes.
Democrats want as many Democrat voters as possible, and they know that Republicans are going to deport them if they want. That's the policy by comparison. And then, so you got that issue because Democrats trying to take over the country, and then you have the other side of things where it's even. I mean, there's so many things wrong with illegal immigration, but one of the biggest ones is that it's impoverishing all of us who were born here.
Very much so.
And it's against our will because they're doing it illegally, crossing the border, and just coming in. And then Democrats are literally taking our tax dollars and shoveling it into their pocket. Yeah. Why should I have to work harder because I have to pay more taxes? Obviously you don't want anything bad to happen to any person on earth who's innocent, but
not at all. No.
If you're breaking a federal law, I don't think you're innocent.
Your first act to come into this country is breaking the law.
So
yeah, I think it's perfectly fair to ask, just simply obey our laws if you're coming to our country. And ComixDad, what do you think, on this take of immigration and stuff, and just generally in terms of families too and stuff?
Well, before anything, first and foremost, Corn Boy, Magnum Norse, pleasure to meet you fellas finally. And then Magnum, I'm so happy that you are a proud member of the LGBT community right there. That is the LGBT community that I want to be a part of.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's the based one right there.
Hell yeah, super based. And kind of, I guess, are my takes too. Not just to echo what you guys said, but illegal immigration, the word illegal is what they're referred to as for a reason. It's breaking our laws. We have enough people in this country as it is. We don't need more coming in. We don't need more being funneled in by the extreme left and the extreme globalists that are a tinfoil hat, by the way, guys. I'm a tinfoil hat person. The shadow government of globalists and extreme leftists that are not just running our country, but the world as well. Don't need them bringing in unvetted, undocumented, illegal criminals and non-criminals as well from other countries and throw everything at them and give them all of our hard-earned tax dollars just to have them vote for the globalist regime, the extreme leftist propaganda, all that stuff. We need to get them all out. Yeah, we need to get them all out, even the non-criminals.
If I don't give you permission, to come into my house, and you come into my house, that's a crime. Right?
100%.
But why is it not a crime for them to cross the border illegally? Like, it's just.
It is, but the left has a firm foundation of rules for thee, but not for me.
It's not a crime to them, is what I'm saying. Like they have a totally different set of rules.
They frame it totally differently, and that's the only difference.
Nobody is illegal. It's all semantics, is all it is. They just play a big game of semantics, and I'm tired of it.
No,
and the one thing that I'm tired of hearing is 5-10 million illegals. No, that's a red herring. There's at least 30 or 40 million illegal aliens.
Yes,
and it's causing havoc with supply and demand for most things, like housing, supply and demand, services, supply and demand. Everything's supply and demand based.
Yeah, you make the point
by deporting everyone that should be.
Cornboy too, Senator Mike Lee was complaining the last couple of weeks on X. Oh, we don't have enough housing. Let's sell off our federal land.
Sell off the federal.
It's like
that's our federal land, not yours to sell.
Exactly, and it's like you want housing. Let's get rid of the people that are stealing it, and let's get rid of them and open
filling up all the houses that shouldn't be here.
I live in a sanctuary county, and trust me, I feel the pain. So.
I bet, man.
And just the janky vehicles and people can't drive. It's just nuts.
We live in Pennsylvania, and we live in one of the bluer areas, just because we have one of the major cities nearby us. For the most part, Pennsylvania is red, but it's all based on population, as we all know. So unfortunately, there's a condensed population where we are. There's a condensed population on the west in Pittsburgh, and on the east in the worst part, which is the Philly area, which is a shame because I grew up being a Philadelphia sports fan. Yeah. But
Eagles,
and it's in those pretty much those two predominant areas on the east and west part of Pennsylvania, and then a little bit here in our area, a little bit in a smaller city about 30 miles away, another one about another 30 miles south of us. But it's all the cities. It's always the cities for some reason where there is
that's where they get the money.
It's where they get the illegals coming in. Yep, they get the welfare, and it's those are the places that are mostly leftist and globalist run for some reason. If more people from the, I guess you could say, more affordable is a polite way of putting it, parts of the state were to, and that's the other thing, people are getting priced out of these areas as well to make room for the illegal immigrants and illegal criminals and people that fall in the mindset of, well, shut up and just do what we tell you and vote blue. And everybody who doesn't think that way is getting priced out of their areas because they're not being given government services, even people that maybe should be and are willing and deserving of government services. And it's just it's like that all over the country too.
Yeah, and you make a great point. It's these urban centers that are attracting all this nonsense, these deep blue areas,
and it's when you put the cheese out, where does the mouse go?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's no longer a safety net like it was supposed to be. Now
Rizkit nailed it. Rizkit nailed it. Hive mind does take over high populated places. It is like Legion. They are like Legion, and
Hey, Legion was an awesome character in the Mass Effect franchise. Leave Legion alone. Don't diminish him like that.
I mean the demon, not the good one from the. Yeah, true. Not all alike.
Just saying.
They all look alike. I'm not insinuating. Tom Holman. I want to pull up this clip. So quick little clip from Tom Holman. He's my favorite person in the administration. I love this guy.
Sure.
Hilarious too. So he's being interviewed on the matter of immigration, and he says it pretty low, but there's subtitles. Listen towards the end of this 26-second clip what he says. We'll take a listen.
So, President signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities.
Defund sanctuary cities.
Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding
illegal
aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
Wait till you see what's coming. Heck yeah, man. So arrest the leaders, and he's like, not a bad idea if I do say so myself. So
did you hear that AOC is under investigation for having a illegal on her staff? Yeah, we have that.
We have that. And we have a lot of AOC stuff. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, she's not all she's cooked up to be. She is a fraud.
She says she is?
No way.
Oh my God.
Shout out. Guys, check the link. Jake's dropping in chat. Absolutely.
Queen Comics Wife, definitely for sure. Shout out Queen Comics Wife, my better half. She's more of a people person than me, so her streams are more like life and down to earth. I just talk nerd shit. So
hey, it all has a
we
purpose,
need all of it,
and it's all needed. It's all encompassing. So wanted to play this little clip too. I big fan of the Polacks. I like Polish, the Polish culture. Polacks represent. I dig it,
and we love you too.
Based people, heck yeah. And the food's pretty good too, if I do say so.
Love me some pierogies.
Yeah.
Is this the woman that Jordan Peterson destroyed on live TV?
Yes, it is. She is what's the nice way of saying it? She is of the leftist persuasion.
How is she still working?
She's definitely a Karen.
Do you drop hard R's on your channel?
The N one, no,
the other one,
retard, absolutely,
yes, absolutely, retard is welcome.
Once he's monetized,
drop the line is armor.
Yes,
I'm never going to be monetized, so I just say it anyway.
Yeah, she's a retard. Perfectly said. I got to play this clip.
That's your answer.
Based Polacks talking about immigration.
How many refugees has Poland taken?
Zero.
And you're proud of that?
Heck yeah.
If you are asking me about Muslims illegal immigration, none, not even one will come to Poland. Not even one if it's illegal. We took over 2 million Ukrainians who are working, who are peaceful in Poland. We will not receive even one Muslim because this is what we promised.
But I asked not about illegal immigrants. I asked about refugees. And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission president, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why our government was elected. But this is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland. And we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
That is incredibly based. Round of applause for that guy. And chat, yeah, I totally agree. Based.
Yeah, and it's not race, it's culture. And
it's also
talking about religion. Here, so
yeah.
Some religions don't get along with each other, and some cultures don't get along with each other. People got to.
I'm sorry, I don't want people in my country that are chanting for my death.
Especially the ones that hate your culture, and they're chanting it in the streets. Like, come on,
why are you trying to throw fireworks in my house?
It's like, okay, thanks for putting up your flag to let me know that you hate me. You're not going to come to my house.
You know? Absolutely. Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, I've never been prouder to be of Polish heritage before, because for the longest time the Polish were always seen as kind of the joke, besides the French. Yeah, because how many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? However many.
Luckily, that got we got over that in like the 80s because
Archie
I think
Bunker
it came
with the meathead jokes.
Yeah. I think it came from World War II, and that's been long forgotten about. So now their recent past has redeemed themselves. So
well, you mean how they went up against Panzers with winged hussars on horseback and stuff? Yeah,
that's
that was
probably where it came from.
Yeah, well, I mean, one can make the
Man,
argument
it's
that
all
was
you
incredibly ballsy too.
It was. You talk about bravery, the ultimate courage. There, you're going up against some tanks on horseback.
Yeah,
pretty badass stuff.
But I do say, and I've been saying this for the last few years, ever since this current prime minister there, he is the prime minister, I believe, correct?
This guy's not in office anymore. But
I know he was.
Their new president is based.
They also brought us The Witcher, the Polish. So
yeah, well, of course. Well, he's kind of a sellout, but we can go.
Not the show, not the show of the books, but Witcher 3.
Fair enough. But no, but when he was in office, though, when I first became aware of him, I told my wife, I was like, if the U.S. ever gets so bad to the point where we have to become political refugees, and now granted, I know only a very small handful of Polish phrases. My grandmother, my great grandmother, and all my Polish descendants are probably very disappointed in me. I will go and learn Polish. I will get on Babbel.com or whatever, and I'll take all the Polish courses I have to. If we ever have to become political refugees from our own country here, you better believe Poland is the country I'm going to try to seek asylum in.
I mean, that's a better language to learn than what the mayor of Minneapolis up there, he's learning Somali.
Yeah, I saw about that.
And we'll be talking about that too. New York, you guys see what's going on in New York with Zoran? Whatever you call him.
Oh yeah, the flat out communist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Straight up.
New York is filled with commies, man, and one of them, big subject of tonight. You know, AOC, nice old AOC. She built from Benny Johnson. He broke the internet with this week. 2 days ago, they posted this. AOC built her entire political brand on being a girl from the Bronx. Interesting. But is that true? No, it's a lie. He traveled to AOC's actual hometown and investigated where she's from. It's actually safe, clean, patriotic, and wealthy. It's a slice of small-town American heaven. And this is a long video, and I will actually drop this link in chat as it's playing. But this shows where AOC's really from. She's not a girl from the neighborhood. She's from upstate. So let's take a look where AOC is actually from. Does she represent the people she was elected to?
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Bronx. This is where AOC says she's from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, over 30 miles away.
And this is where AOC is actually from. Welcome to Yorktown, the business hamlet of Yorktown Heights.
Yep.
There's mansions everywhere. It's beautiful. It's green. It's pristine. It's clean.
It's not the neighborhood out in the Bronx.
Christopher Columbus Society. I thought AOC got all those statues ripped down. Some structural racism right here in AOC's hometown. Today we're going to investigate the biggest lie in all of politics, the fraud of AOC.
Before we continue this, I just want to know, did any of you guys, I didn't know before
this video came out. That's a little sensationalist. Biggest lie in politics.
A little bit. Yeah, biggest lie in AOC.
Just like the best of them. You gotta say it.
I respect the grift. I respect it.
You gotta get the algorithm. We all know how it goes. But no, did any of you guys know? I didn't know.
I knew she went to Boston University, which is a very swanky university. So, and she was a bartender once. That was her hard time.
That's all we know about her.
I think AOC for bartending 2028, 100% vote for her to go back to bartending. 100%.
2026, make it even sooner.
2025, let's do it.
2024.
I'm sure she can serve a mean drink.
We need a DeLorean. Just go back and fix it all.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's. How about right now? I just want to play. We're gonna skip through, see where she's from, and break it down a little bit because this is interesting. She ran on lies, which shocking. Democrat politician in general.
I mean, she did answer a casting call for her campaign. So why not lie? They fabricated the whole thing for her.
I don't know. Let's take a look. So, looks like small town America right there. Doesn't look like the neighborhood up in the Bronx or whatever, Brooklyn.
This is
Bronx,
the Bronx.
yeah.
The Bronx is a gritty,
all the
working
same
class,
thing.
hardscrabble, historic borough of New York City. AOC is a communist who represents the Bronx in Congress. She's not just a rising star in the Democrat Party, she is the Democrat Party. Clearly preparing for a 2028 run, AOC is breaking fundraising records and filling stadiums to hype her Bronx girl persona.
I'm a girl from the Bronx.
Just to lose to
AOC
GD.
won her seat in Congress in 2018 by attacking her establishment Democrat opponent as not being sufficiently from the Bronx.
A Democrat who takes corporate money, doesn't live here, doesn't send his kids to our schools, doesn't drink our water, cannot possibly represent us.
That's quite a take. So
I forgot
she's
about
attacking
that one.
her opponent on the very thing she's guilty of. That's very out of what is it? Certain handbook. Accuse your enemy of what you are guilty of. Is that a certain
Says the
handbook?
former bartender.
Sounds like a
takes
rule
corporate money
for
political.
certain people.
Yeah, a radical, you could say. Almost.
Yeah.
Double standards.
Yeah,
That's all politics, though, isn't it?
Her husband is
Yes.
like the whitest dude on earth, by the way.
Oh, but she hates, but she hates white men, though. It's
Okay.
weird how.
Well,
the
she
ones
doesn't
that
hate him
white
that
guys
much,
marry them.
apparently. Doesn't hate him
Well,
when
because
he
he's
goes home.
soy. The soy white men are okay.
That's
Yeah.
very
Those
true.
are
The
the
ones
Well,
that
he
table.
does have the special chair in the corner of the bedroom too. though.
Yes. For when
AOC
Daddy Elon comes to town.
repeats that she's from the Bronx and a Bronx girl.
So
I
this
speak
is her whole brand.
like a girl from the Bronx.
A girl from the
And again,
I
block.
grew up
Yeah.
first generation in the Bronx.
And again,
Girls from the Bronx are welcome
Puts on the
everywhere.
accent.
so often that
We're
it's
crying
almost
at
a
the
pathology.
border.
In
built
fact,
the
AOC
cages.
just pulled the Bronx girl card again this week, responding to President Trump, saying she
That
Look
is
at
pretty bold, like to just flat out say that shit, and then people can just look up your history pretty easy.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they can
how
just-
bold of a lie.
it's really easy to find out where politicians grew up. You know,
Because they're so
hypocritical.
stupid, they think we're just as dumb as the rest of them, if not dumber. That's why.
some of us are, unfortunately, and that's what they're banking
Well, I mean,
on.
nobody knew this until just now, though, right? I mean,
Well,
why
it was
didn't this
working.
come out years ago?
It was
That's
working
true.
in the past, but you know, a lot of people have woken up recently. You know, according to the recent elections, of course. But
A lot
Very
of people have been putting their magnifying glasses up to their face and have been putting their
Yeah.
thinking caps on. So,
yeah, and it's not so much stupid. It's more like we talked about before, is paying attention.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, critical thinking and just being a little more attentive, and that's all that matters. That's all it takes.
yeah.
It's dishonesty at its core, and what honestly though, what more do you expect from modern politics now? You know, politicians, people in Congress, and Democrats largely. You know, Republicans do it too, but man, Democrats have been getting a certain reputation for this stuff. And just to wrap up this final little portion, I want to pull up Benny's tweet from our post on X from today. It really broke the internet. He says, my entire timeline is AOC getting called a carpetbagging fraud with undeniable receipts. Yet AOC has not chirped about it once. Radio silent for 2 straight days, no yapping at all. That's a world record. The working class stolen valor attack really destroyed her. It's over. And I think that's true. I think it is over for her political
God, I
career.
hope so.
And I looked up Yorktown, New York, because I've heard of Yorktown, New York, but I never knew where it
Yes.
was. It is 34.5 miles from the Bronx proper.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's not
So-
even like it's not even like it's just one neighborhood over or anything like that. Like you got to get in the car and you got to drive 40 minutes, probably more like an hour, considering, especially as you get into New York City proper, that New York City traffic. So
That is not casual walking distance down
No,
the neighborhood
not at all.
around the corner. No, she's not.
I mean,
from the area.
you can say you're from the metro, but you can't claim a borough in New York.
yeah, I'd say Yorktown is close enough. You could say you're from the metro area.
Yeah, and then say, "Hey, I moved there. I'm recent. I'm new. I'm adapting, and I want to become a part of your neighborhood and represent and be honest."
It's
Oh,
just
yeah, a
streetwise.
suburb is not a borough of New York.
I mean,
Definitely not.
I don't think it's necessarily over for her. If you look at recent history, like certain people like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, they seem to fail upwards. Like the more
That's
lies,
true.
the more they lie, the more
Conveniently so.
successful they are.
My theory behind that is because they are the ones that are easily puppeteered, and
Yeah.
that's why
Oh, yeah.
they could fail and they could fall upward, they could fall all they want, but they're going to be pulled up even when they fall.
Yeah.
Because, well, first off, for some reason, they perform better on the PR level than other Democrats and extreme politicians do for some ungodly reason. But also because, they're weak-minded. They are feeble-minded individuals, whether it's because of senility, like Joe Biden, or because of pure retardation, like Kamala Harris and AOC. But they are just easily controlled and easily puppeted, and actually, that's why they keep getting propped up.
To counteract myself, what I just said is that I think, like I said, I think a lot of people are catching on to the lies and stuff. So it's they're not going to get away with it like they used to. I don't think.
God, I love my wife.
My theory is that
that's based. That's
most
based
Democrats don't have an inner monologue, that they can just be told something and they'll spew it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately true. And speaking of that, you segued this perfectly. I want to pull this up. We all know the Harry Potter series, and this has nothing to do with that. J.K. Rowling, she is the author of the famous Harry Potter series. I've never seen or read Harry Potter, never got into, but whatever. J.K. Rowling, she is a well-known, she's a liberal. She's a leftist. She's a feminist. She'll probably disagree with us on like 98% of stuff, but on the subject of protecting children from trans ideology, she's got it, man. And this was an attack that she dealt with recently. She believes in protecting kids from this harmful procedures, harmful stuff. And compliments where it's due. That's a very good thing that she's speaking up against that. And she has received many attacks on account of that. And so here, just recently, development. We're going to pull up Nagarnal's tweet about this too. She posts, Stephen Ireland, who targeted me with endless abuse on here because I oppose the chemical castration of children and the removal of protected spaces for women and girls, has just been sentenced to 30 years in jail for child assault. We're going to say he harmed children. I don't think 30 years is enough below the jail, in my opinion, below the 6 feet below.
Wood chipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wood chipper for sure. He doesn't look like a pedophile at all, does he?
How could they not know?
We're going to pull up Nagarnal.
Look at that picture, man.
Oh, wait, damn.
Look at this.
Wrong one. What the heck?
Why do you keep pulling up Nagarnal? I want to see the other.
I know.
Screw that, dude.
What the heck? Okay, wrong page. Friggin' work stream there. Okay. A trans activist, a rapist. No, I'm so surprised. It's like, it's like shocker. Okay. So, wow, I'm so surprised. The guy that's a trans activist, and he's out there doing horrible shit.
I mean, their country has a little bit bigger problems. They have hundreds or thousands of immigrants there that are doing the same thing that are not getting prosecuted.
Yeah. A bunch of Zorhan Mamadis
exactly.
over in London there.
It's an occupied nation at that point, I'm telling you.
It's an invasion. It really is.
Yeah.
I don't. We'll keep talking about this. I didn't mean to derail.
No,
but that's what New York City's going to be turning into, and we're going to have an invasion here, and we need somebody in charge that can kind of take charge the way that the way that he took charge in California over the last few weeks.
The people are comparing New York City to London and vice versa. So
how never forget was forgotten. That's all I gotta say about that.
I know. I know, and there's been some good memes going around that I can't show on YouTube.
The people that crashed into the towers are now living here.
Yeah, but
and taking over our elections. What happened?
Yeah, but just real quick regarding that guy, since I don't know about Corn Boy, Magnum, I don't know if you guys are fathers, but obviously ComixDad, it goes without saying. Yeah, wood chipper and so much worse.
Absolutely.
And I am so fed up, and so is Queen Comics Life. Fortunately, we don't have it in our area. That's one of the few things I can say about our area that we're pretty happy with. We don't have a whole lot of that in our area. The occasional mentally ill person that thinking they're opposite of what they are, rarely. Nobody's shoving it down our throats or in our face or anything. We haven't had any of the major protests. And as far as I'm aware, we haven't had the Annies, the Transformers, going to libraries and schools and reading stuff to children and all that. Because
that's good.
If I found out, you better believe I'd probably be the one going getting put behind bars instead, because there won't be somebody else put behind bars.
Yeah, leave the children alone, I think, is what it boils down to. Go.
Yeah.
What was that about a slippery slope? Gay marriage leads to nothing but gay marriage?
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Don't be Yeah, we can't. Tolerance of evil is not a virtue. And I think that wraps that up perfectly. Yeah, and I agree. Risk it feet first, so they feel it longer. Final subject. We're on the last 10 minutes, and then we're going to raid into Off the Hip. This is for you, largely ComixDad, because you know this stuff a little more. Ironheart,
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay. So I think, just to lay the groundwork real quick, all of us here, we're familiar with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love the originals, the classics. The first Iron Man movie is a classic movie in cinema. The OG Captain America movies, 1 and 2, and I mean they're great. The old school MCU movies, original Avengers, the stuff from 10 pushing 15 years ago now. It's good stuff. I grew up with a lot of it too, and there's some good stuff in that.
Almost 20, man. Iron Man came out in
Oh,
I think
man, you're
07?
Iron Man. I think Iron Man is the best Marvel movie.
Hands down.
Because when I saw Avengers, it was like too much for me, just because I don't like too much. But like Iron Man was very, very well,
and it's held up too. It's visually held up in every way.
It might have been 09, but we're pushing that 20-year mark.
20. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I feel older now, but
but I'm old as
fuck.
I don't know, man. My kids tell me in Queen Comics Life that we're from the 80s and 90s. We're ancient, so
okay. You guys everyone's doing good, and at least everyone's still in touch with it. But we now have this new character coming up. Everything, laying the groundwork.
She's definitely a character.
Yes. So. Out now. We have.
So I didn't see Black Panther 2, so I have no idea who this person is.
Oh, is that where she came from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where she made her MCU debut. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ironheart is a new character in the MCU. Apparently, this is coming from what is it? ComixDad. This is from a comic book, right? A more recent comic book. Not a very old character, to my knowledge.
Not very old. Within, I can't recall the actual
2016.
year, but it was within the last 10 to 12 years. It might have been around that 2016 era, right near the end of Obama and the start of Trump. But yeah, so Riri Williams is a very intelligent teenage student who is in high school and has great aspirations of going to MIT and being the first woman this or the first woman that or whatever. And like, okay, it's at face value, it's a story about a young teenage girl that wants to prove people wrong that girls can do all sorts of things. Well, it's not just girls. She wants to be the first African American woman to do this, that, and the other.
So trope on top of trope, essentially.
Yeah, so trope. I mean, and the comics, they weren't as nearly as bad as the show is, but the comics were not good. It was, but the comics, like her suit was inspired by Tony Stark. She basically reverse engineered Tony Stark's Iron Man technology to make her own suit in the comics. As opposed to this show, she gets a federal grant from her university to make the suit, which she basically just steals conceptually. So it's not even like she's doing something interesting and unique, like reverse engineering the technology. She's just basically copying the technology.
So that kind of sounds like theft a little bit.
Yes,
kind of.
Yes, exactly.
It very much is.
She steals the technology. She apparently gets kicked out of MIT because she's caught stealing something else or something like that. I haven't seen the series. This is all stuff that I've read about. I've read summaries of the episodes because we don't have Disney Plus anymore. But I've gone
Disney Plus, everybody, please.
Yeah, hashtag cancel Disney Plus.
FFS.
Yeah. For the real life fake wizard, as he says, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.
Absolutely.
But I have read the summaries of the episodes though, just to get a feel for what's going on in them, and then also I've seen everybody's reactions and takes on it as well.
She goes into a life of crime, and they glorify ghetto activity, and there's
she gets kicked out of MIT in the show. And then she feels entitled and throws a fit about not being able to keep the suit that she feels is hers, even though she used grant money from the school to build it. Because anybody that knows anything about especially scientific programs in colleges and universities and doctorate programs and whatnot, anything that you discover, anything that you develop, anything that you make at the school is considered the school's property.
Yes,
and then especially if you're using grant money on top of it. So the fact that she felt entitled, she's so smart, but she's not smart enough to realize, oh, hey, maybe I should do this on the side and not at school. Granted, I have access to the resources, but I'm sure I can find a workaround.
Whole
and
show
then gets
sounds
in
like
with thieves and member of the T in the LGBT community, the bad one, not the good one that Magnum's a part of. Yeah.
It sounds like racial stereotype after racial stereotype.
It sounds
like, well,
insanely convoluted.
And apparently, the writers are just very, very low talent. Also, so.
Well, that's why these reactions are brutal. And I don't mean to cut you. I just want to quickly get into this. The reactions are brutal from the internet so far. And just quickly, the Rotten Tomatoes audience score has plummeted as trailers rack up massive dislike ratios and critics' scores soar. So I just want to quickly jump through this. And then we do have to wrap it up here on the hour. But after a flurry of early headlines accusing critics of review bombing, they always do that. They say, oh, it's not because our show's bad, you're just review bombing. No, your show's bad. Ironheart has now entered a very different phase of audience reactions. The early Rotten Tomatoes audience score has continued to plummet, landing at just 56% as of the writing of this article, well below the fresh threshold. So it's rotten, essentially.
That's pretty high, though.
I think it's, from what I'm hearing, it sounds much higher than it deserves. But
I think it got review bombed in the opposite direction it should have.
Yes, it does. The critic score has actually increased. Shocker. The critics are pandering, while further widening the gap between legacy media narrative and how real reviewers feel. And I just want to say here, this is why I go to criticlist.com for my movie and show reviews. Shout out to them. But yeah, just quickly, this is not good scores right here, guys. And I think this speaks to what you were saying, ComixDad. This is just not being a well-received show. Yeah. And
that tomato is too high. That's manipulated by the people paid by Disney.
I think you're right.
That's absolutely media. What that is. Yep.
Well, Gary said that nobody's watching it, so the only people that bother rating it are people that like the show.
Exactly. And people that aren't watching the show and don't know anything about the character are spouting off on X like crazy. Like I had one dude who is who's African American, and he goes by him with a devil emoji in his name. And he said, if people are like this over a show, imagine how they treat regular people they come into contact with. People at the store, delivery drivers, neighbors. Disgusting, because we're forced to coexist with people who literally hate us for no reason. So I responded to him, and I know you're pressed on time, so I'll make it quick. But I said, I don't hate you or her, not for the reasons you think, at least. There are plenty of other reasons why I'd probably hate you, but please stop with the race baiting. It's old, overplayed, and doesn't work anymore. People are allowed to hate on just crap TV shows without thinking about the skin color of the people involved. Maybe Disney Marvel should be less focused on skin color, and then maybe they'll have good productions again.
Facts. And I think that's a perfect cap on this article here. Make good stuff, and you get good reviews, and you get paid. We'll give you.
Look at Sinners. Nobody talks about the races and Sinners as a bad thing. And it wasn't review bombed because it was well written and a good movie.
And if you want to do the Black story,
Black Panther, where she came from, we got good rated. Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good, man. You're good. If they want to do the Black story in a movie, whether it's Marvel or Sinners or whatever, like, have it be not from a place of race baiting. Have it not be from a place of the victim card. Have it be from a place of historical accuracy, as well as accurate as you can be, and just be genuine about it. Don't try to have some kind of message or propaganda push behind it that you want in your story.
You know what? Let's do a Thomas Sowell documentary. And let's talk about Black Americans that have had a positive impact on our society. It's not about just take the color out of it and give us good stories. So we're on the hour.
I will say Will Smith's The Pursuit of Happiness, and I'll leave it at that. Based on a true story.
Never seen it, but okay.
Yeah, Black American story. Yeah. Just he's a Black American going through hard times. The guy just happened to be Black, and he struggled in life with his kid. Great inspirational story. Great movie.
Blade.
Oh, great. Blade. I got to see Blade too. I got to see that. So we do have to wrap it up. I'm going to drop the link, guys. We have, for the first time in Golden Age podcast history, an outro. So we're going to wrap that up after we get through the panel.
There you go.
Outro.
Well, I don't need an outro. I'll just see you next week.
Cornboy. Follow Cornboy on X. Got his link in the description. Magnum, what's up with you? Where are you going to be at?
I'll probably be back on here again soon. And I'll just keep it short for now. Nice to see you, ComixDad, and meet you for the first time.
Yeah, of course, fellas. Of course.
I'm gonna check you out some more. So for sure.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man.
And we got both your links in the description, Magnum for your ex, and ComixDad. We have your links in the description as well, and I'm sure the chat. Where can people find you, and what are you going to be up to?
Well, I made it a lot easier. I finally created a link tray. So instead of posting 7 different links, there's just that.
I got to do that too.
You could find me in the chats of my wife's channel, Queen Comics Wife. She'll be streaming. She does mostly stream. She'll be live tomorrow and Wednesday. I will be live again on my channel on Thursday with my guest podcast show, whatever you want to call it, Talk and Shop, where I talk comic books and whatever my guest is into, whether it's content creation, comic book artist, writing, wrestling, whatever. This week's guest is actually Mo Zamboni. So we're going to have Mo on, talk about a bunch of good stuff. And then I'll just do some gaming streams in between. Pretty much the best way to know when I'm dropping videos or going live is by following me on X. I actually haven't done videos in about a month or two. I got to start doing them again this coming month. But
you're doing good stuff, and I enjoy watching your channel. And it's nice to see people in the pop culture. I say this all the time. We're not just strictly political. It's nice to see people in the pop culture side who are just common sense oriented and have good values and are decent people. I love to see it.
I appreciate it, brother.
Culture is upstream from politics.
Oh yeah, right. Well, and that's why we got to head it off while we can and just call out the nonsense. But even then, though, I just want to talk comics, man. I don't even want to necessarily talk things like the accolade crap like that. Like I don't want to talk about the message.
You want to enjoy good things.
Yeah, I want to talk about the good and the bad stuff in general, not because it's propaganda or politically driven.
Let's bring good things back. I got to cue the
back
outro.
to the 90s. Let's go back to the 90s.
Damn
All right, go
Then we're gonna drop the link. Go raid ABF. Give them a golden age raid. I'm going to cue the outro. We'll see you guys next week, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you guys.
Taste of lead, you commie son of a bitch.